guys, welcome back. It's Vic, and can you believe it is already July? I think I speak for all of us when I say that none of us could have really predicted how crazy 2020 would turn out, how crazy the start of this new decade would be. In just the past 6 months, so much has happened and been brought to our attention on a collective level. And as individuals, I'm sure as well, we've had to deal and grapple with things and learn and grow in our own capacities as well. I, for one, know that even though I've been home for most of the year, so much has changed both around me and within me that I feel like I almost need to reset myself, to ground myself in the present and take stock of where I am and use the knowledge and in the ways I've changed over the past couple of months to really align myself in the direction that I want to head towards moving forwards. So that's why about a week ago I did this little mid-year audit, and I wasn't really going to share it because it's kind of personal, but I was hoping that maybe sharing this might inspire some of you guys to reevaluate your life as well and think about where you're heading towards, which is what this entire channel is about anyway. So if you want to reset your life as well, feel free to grab a pen, grab a notebook and sit down and journal with me. Or if you want, you can just listen to me ramble on about my personal life. By the way, I got the structure for this mid-year audit from two other YouTubers I follow, Lavender and Michelle B, and I'll put their videos on a mid-year audit down below. So if you're interested in checking out their videos, feel free to do that as well after you watch this. So let's get to it. So step number one is to write down all your wins, no matter how big or small they are, because it's been a crazy year and I think we should take the time to celebrate every small accomplishment, even if it may not seem an accomplishment in the traditional sense of the word. Pause this video if you want to journal your own answer before hearing mine. I personally don't have that many quantifiable accomplishments, but hey, I'm okay with that. Let me share with you what I wrote. So I started learning Japanese. I grew my channel substantially, tripled my subscribers in 3 months, which is not saying very much because I started at like 500 and now I'm at 1,500, which isn't that much of a jump, but I'm still proud of that anyway. I actually started being consistent with meditating and journaling has always been easier for me, but meditating, boy, I never really liked to meditate even though I knew it's really beneficial for you. And I think only literally in the past 1 or 2 weeks, I actually started meditating every day for between 15 to 20 minutes, which is a huge deal for me because in the past, I would only do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week at most, and I would only be able to get to like 10 minutes. So I'm really proud of being consistent with that. The next couple of things aren't really wins per se, like concrete wins, but just things that I'm proud of myself for doing. So one of those things is deciding not to do an internship over the summer. And that sounds kind of strange, but hear me out. I was supposed to do an internship in Ecuador this summer. I was supposed to be speaking Spanish and doing work on sustainable agriculture and working with local Ecuadorian farmers. Unfortunately, that got cancelled because of coronavirus, and so I came home, and the first thing I did when I came back was actually to start looking for new internships. But then I started asking myself, why am I doing this? Do I genuinely want to spend my last summer before I have to graduate and start working for the rest of my life doing another internship that I don't love? Am I genuinely excited by all these places that I'm applying to? And the answer was not really. And that's why for the past 2 months, I've not been doing an internship and I've been just doing things I enjoy every day, like going for really long walks and listening to podcasts or learning Japanese or making YouTube videos. These aren't things that are necessarily productive, but I'm glad that I made the decision to just act in a way that I thought would bring me the most happiness in that moment, in spite of the fact that it might not be the most popular choice. So to me, that's a win. As I say in the second part of my journal entry, I may not have much to show to have done this year, but frankly, I'm okay with that. Every year brings you new challenges, new circumstances, new chances to learn about yourself. This time of slowing down has taught me so many essential truths about myself, and here are some. Number one, structure and habits are so important for my optimal functioning and happiness. 2, I do need to be doing meaningful work to feel fulfilled, and I'm not saying that just for the sake of being busy or being able to flaunt about it. Thirdly, I've learned how adaptable I am, or we all are, to adjust so fast to whatever situations we're thrust into. The next thing is to think about how your life has changed and how you've grown in the past 6 months. Pause this video if you want to journal your own answer before hearing mine. So this is what I wrote. It goes without saying that it has been a year of slowing down. Junior year started slow for me. I came back home to Singapore and I've been cooped up at home for so long. I've learned to find contentment in small things, in all these slow days. Simultaneously, it's been a year of revelations, of COVID exposing all of the inequalities and fissures that were already there in society, of the Black Lives Matter movement and a global awakening of consciousness to racism, of my first time participating in Singapore's election and learning how to use my political voice to participate in crafting the future of my country, and of me realizing things about myself because I have enough space to do all this contemplation, journaling, and self-reflection. The reason why I didn't go very in-depth into the ways I've changed is because I've been writing about this and journaling about all these things over the past couple of weeks in my other journal, where I really get very in-depth about the things I'm learning about myself, deep questions that I ask myself. I uncover a lot of things about my past, about my darker sides, about where I see my future heading towards. And that's why I don't really go too in-depth in this particular entry. But take it from me when I say that I've learned a lot from this past year, and I'm happy to share more of that in future videos. The gist of it, I think, is me just realizing that there's so much more that I have to learn, and that so much of learning can happen outside of the classroom, which I did talk about in a previous video that I did over here. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Another update on how my life is changing is that I actually am not able to go back to Yale in the fall because of issues with the coronavirus and visa issues, and it's complicated, but the gist of it is that I will be doing a semester here in Singapore at Yale and US instead, which means over the next 6 months, I'll still be here in Singapore, but instead just going to Yale and US. I'm personally really excited about that because Yale and US offers many things that Yale doesn't have. For example, a lot more Southeast Asia focused classes, a lot of environmental studies classes that are focused on Singapore's context, and just a new environment to make new friends, experience new things, make new memories, and I'm really excited about that. This leads me on to the final part of this mid-year audit, which is to ask yourself, where do I want to direct my attention and focus my energy on in the next half of the year? Pause this video if you want to journal your own answer before hearing mine. For me, I really want to focus on building foundational habits into my life. Meditation, good eating habits, good exercise habits, journaling, making videos, and language learning. I really want to make sure that these things become a part of my life, even when I go back to a normal life and I go back to school. Also, something else that you guys know about me is that I love my bucket lists, and so I finally decided to sit down and do one for Singapore. I've been living here my whole life, which is why I usually don't think about pushing myself to experience new things and go to new places. But yeah, I should be doing that, because I mean, there's so much of this country that I have yet to explore. I can definitely switch things up a bit. Sometimes I get way too comfortable just chilling at home. So I need to push myself to make those new memories, and I'm sure future me will be happy for it. And the final step is for you to think about what new goals you want to set for the rest of the year based on what you've said you want to focus on moving forward. Pause this video if you want to journal your own answer before hearing mine. For me, I really only have a couple of easy and simple and foundational goals. Firstly, to keep meditating daily for at least 10 to 20 minutes. Secondly, is to journal at least every other day. Thirdly, is to be able to hold a decent conversation in Japanese for at least 5 minutes. An intelligible one that is hopefully grammatically correct. The next thing is to really learn how to be consistent with my Japanese and Spanish flashcards. I've not been doing that. I've been skipping a lot of days, and I should not be doing that. The next thing is something for me to kind of figure out as I go along, which is to think about the future of this YouTube channel and where it's going to go, especially when I start school again. And if I really do want to continue it, figure out a better system for me to upload and shoot and film and script my videos. The next is to chew more slowly, because I always scarf down my food. And really, that's about it for now. I think I will keep adding goals as I see fit. But I think the most important things is, as I was saying, get back to the foundations. I think those are the things that I want to focus on and carry with me moving into my future career and my next year at Yale or Yale and US. If you're doing this with me, I would love to hear from you. What kinds of goals are you setting? Or what kinds of wins have you had this past year? Here in Singapore, things are slowly getting back to normal. Things are opening again. And I think I really want to treasure this time before I jump back into the normal rush of life to assess where I'm at and how I want to move forward. And I really hope that you guys take the time to do that for yourself as well. I hope this video was interesting to some of you. I'm not sure. I know this was really just like a verbal journal entry, but sometimes it's nice just to sit down, have a heart-to-heart with the camera, be more personal and just talk authentically about who I am. So here you go. But anyway, more serious and contemplative videos are in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.